Welcome to the new Wine is Social. Today, we're going to take a few minutes and go through the various components of how to get started with Wine is Social and then how to use the platform and integrate it into your business. When you first log into Wine is Social from the back office, you'll land on this homepage that we're looking at right now. In the upper right-hand corner, you will see your name, and then you'll see some menu items across the top. The very first thing you need to do is to complete the setup of your profile. If you click on your name, you'll see a profile button here. You won't have this whole list, but you can click on your profile. And you'll notice that some of the information has already been brought over and populated for you. The areas that do not have an open box are areas that you cannot edit on this side of the platform, and you have to go back to your back office to do those. The ones that have numbers and boxes around them, you'll be able to click and set. So for example, your time zone or your phone or your address, your picture will already come over. One of the most important things for you to do is to link your Facebook account to the platform. Primarily, this is for use with business accounts. You'll see that there's a lot of elements that are no longer available for personal accounts, so this will be to link your business account. When you click on Facebook, you'll see a button right here that says Connect to Facebook. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first I'd like to see you fill in your Facebook URL. So this allows people to follow you on your Facebook platform when there's an item that's emailed to them or something of that nature. You'll want to do that for all of these. The Connect to Facebook, if I click on it, is going to then take me to a page that I can begin to link my account. You will get a login if you're not currently logged in. I'm currently logged into mine, so I'm going to say continue. Then it's going to pop up the pages that you want to manage. These are the business pages that I have set up. So I'm going to select all of them and I'm going to say next. That shows me what my permissions are, and I'm going to say done. That simple process right then will open up all the different elements that you are going to need to fully use the Wine is Social platform. When you go back in, you'll see that my Facebook account is now linked, and you can go down and do the same types of things for all of your social media accounts that you are currently utilizing. I'm going to close that out and then give you a quick lay of the land for the home page. Across the top, you'll see Library, Contacts, Uploads, and Help. The Help button gives you a full set of content that you can find how to set things up. We just talked about the profile page, and you'll see the profile page right here. I can go through and do that. It talks about managing your profile, how you log in and log out, searching for content, how to create templates. I think what you'll find is once you learn how to create one type of template, they all work the same. So if you'll just look for searching a template in the help file, you'll be able to find what you need. Contacts is where you can access all of your contacts. Those will automatically be brought over for you, and this will automatically be populated with your contacts. We'll come back to this in just a little bit, but for right now, just to give you a brief overview of what this page looks like. And then I'm actually going to go back to the home page and tell you that you can search content in the library two different ways. If I click on the library button up here, it'll take me to the library, or if I click over here on the search field, it will take me to the library. The rest of this content down here, we're going to come back to that after we look at some of the things that are actually in the library. So for right now, to get started, I'm going to actually use this search button. Now I'm just going to click on it, and it's going to take me into the Wine is Social library. There are two different library tabs up here at the top. The first one is the master library. It's very easy to understand. The master library is the library that holds all the templates that the company has made available to you. My library is the library that holds all the templates that I've made copies of and I have utilized. So you'll see a lot of those here that I have tests on them or demo campaign. In my demo user, that's what I name a lot of things. I'm going to go back to the master library, and down the side you'll see some filtering options. So type and topic. So if you're looking for a social media post, a video, an e-newsletter, and based on certain topics, you can search by just clicking on that field. So if I'm looking for a fall-winter social media, I could click on both of these, and I would get all of the social media items that are related to fall and winter. If I scroll down a little farther, I'm going to close these up. You'll see that I have a sharing option. So if I'm looking for something for a specific sharing channel, I can do that. And then there are favorites, and I'll show you how you can mark these and deal with these simply by clicking, and you'll see all of my favorites show up. We'll go back and look at that in a little more detail later, and I'll show you how you can actually mark those. So to get started, we're just going to take a look at a simple piece of content, and I'm going to click on my favorites because I've got a few saved here that I will show you. And I've got one over here called Personalized Wine 2, and I'm going to click on that. The thing that you'll get used to right off the bat is this details page. Every single piece of content will come to a details page of this nature, and you'll be able to then get started with that piece of content. I'll just point out a few things on this particular piece. I can see my name up here at the top of the content. I can see what topics this falls into. It's a personal wine or personalized wine content. If there's a description of it or any instructions, they'll be noted here. And then down at the bottom, you'll see all the copies that I have made of this content to utilize it. So if I wanted to go directly to one, I could simply click on it and I would go to it. For right now, I'm using it for the first time, so I'm going to go in the upper right-hand corner and I'm going to click Get Started. And I'm going to say this was copy for Kevin. So I'm making copy, so I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to say Continue. At that point, it takes it into what we call the editor page. It's very straightforward in this case because there really is no editing for this piece of content. It's just an image. So you'll see I've got my info page, my custom, and preview if I wanted to look at it. If I want to scale down, if I'm on a smaller screen, I can scale down a little bit so I can see the whole thing. But right from here, I can now share that piece of content. I can download it. I can post it to Facebook, LinkedIn, or to Twitter. In this case, I'm going to post to Facebook. So I'm simply going to click on Post to Facebook. And it is now going to open my Facebook posting page. All content is defaulted with a social comment that's automatically placed into the comment field. From here, I can manage which of my business pages or pages that I manage I want to post to. I'm going to leave it to the one that says Media Center. But I can also add some different things to my comment. If I click on this Add Comment, I could add the homepage link. I could also add the Wine Club link. So very easily I've been able to navigate and add those to my comment. I can also go down here to the bottom and I can either schedule my content or I can post it now. If I click on Schedule, I get a calendar that pops up. I can pick the date and the time that I wish to post it, or I can simply say Post Now. One certain note, when you are posting to or scheduling to post to Facebook, you can schedule it from the platform, but if you want to edit that schedule, you'll need to go back into Facebook to do that editing. For now, I'm simply going to say Post, and it's then going to post that directly to my Facebook account. If I wanted to, I could go view it on Facebook. For right now, I'm not going to do that. For right now, I'm going to stay on this page. I'm going to just click on my Facebook tab that I have opened over here, and I'm going to refresh that page. And you'll see that that piece of content that I just posted now appears on my page. The comment is here, and then those two links that I added are also here, and I can begin to navigate and monitor what is happening with my particular post. I'm going to go back to the library, and because these sharing options stay available to me all the way through the process, I could easily go and download this or post it to another social media platform directly from this page without doing anything different. It'll still be the same content that I wanted to. If I wanted to go back to the info page, those tabs across the top are available to me, and I could make any edits to this if I chose to. If I say, oh, I want to change the name of it, I could change the name. I could make my own comments about it to give me instructions or anything that I wanted to do. That's place I'm going to cancel it. And then you have an option to manage it, make it a favorite. We talked about that on when we picked this content. I could simply click favorite it, or I could click up here in the top on the star, and it would make it a favorite for me. I'm going to close out of this piece of content and go into another type. This is a social media also, but this adds a little bit more flexibility to you. If I go in, I now see a piece of content. I'm on the details page exactly as it was before. I've got the comments or the contact. I have the times that I've shared this before, the copies of when I've shared it before. But for now, I'm going to say get started. And I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to say continue. This takes me right back into that editor that I talked about earlier. Only in this case, we have we don't have any sharing options. You can see that up here. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. But you'll see that I have a yellow dot down here. We have a system of dots, yellow dots and green dots. If you ever see a green dot on a piece of content, that means this is something that you can share, but you're not required to share. If you see a yellow dot, that means that's something that you need to edit before you can share that piece of content. So in this case, I'm going to click in here in my yellow dot, and I'm going to type my own give them a message, correct my typos, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to click out of this, and you'll see that that quickly becomes a green dot, and now I have all of my sharing options, and I would go through the exact same sharing process that we went through before. So very simple way to go through and edit the content and share it across the multiple social networks or to download it. The next piece of content I'm going to talk about is a link of an image that goes to a YouTube video. So this Dream Vacation to Jamaica is that type of content. So I'm going to click on this. And once again, as we've discussed, you'll see that I come right back to a details page. I'm going to go through the exact same process that I went through before. Here's my details. Here's my copies. I'm going to go up here and say get started. I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to say continue. It takes me to my editor page. Because this is a not just a social media post, but something that can be shared through different channels, I now have an email option that's available to me. In this case, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to go directly to my Facebook post. I'm going to click on it. And the process will be a little bit different because this is actually posting a link to Facebook. So Facebook has a little bit different process for links than it does for just images. You'll see I have a comment that's already on here. I've got my title. And so I could edit that if I chose to, but I'm not going to at this time. And I'm going to say post to Facebook. Because this is a link, Facebook has one more step that you have to take when you're editing. So I'm going to make this window a little bigger. And you'll see that I have an option of where I want to share this. Do I want to share it on a page? Do I want to share it on a friend's timeline or in private message? I have that option available to me. So I'm actually going to share it on a page I manage. And I'm going to share it on the Media Center page. And I'm not going to tag anybody. I'm just going to leave it just like that. And I'm going to say post to Facebook. At that point, it goes out and it's posted it to Facebook. If I did want to share this through any other channel, I could do that once again directly from here. I'm going to go to my Facebook page and I'm going to refresh it. And you'll see that I now have this Jamaica post that's available to me. But the great part is now when someone clicks on my page, this opens the YouTube channel, plays the video right there on the page for them to view. So very quick and easy for them to post things like a link to a YouTube piece of content. I'm going to go back over. I'm going to close this window, and I'm going to grab one more piece of content. Only in this case, I'm going to take off my favorites. I'm going to go back to type, and I'm going to click on videos. These are videos that have actually been uploaded to Wine is Social for you to access and for you to share with others. In this case, I'm going to grab this short wine club commercial. Takes me right back to my details page. Like I said, you will get very familiar with this as we go. In this case, I have an option to actually email this video out to somebody, so I'm going to click on Send in an e-card. At that point, we open up an e-card that is automatically personalized from you. So it's got all the wine shop information at the top. It has a link to my video in the middle, has all of my personalized information at the bottom. And if you remember when we set up your profile, I talked about adding the link to your profile page for your Facebook or social media. You will see all of these buttons down here give the recipient the ability to follow you on your social media channel as they need to. It's important to note that if you do not add your link to your profile, the icon for that social media platform will not show up. I also have right here in the body, I have a place where I can enter my own message. It's a yellow dot once again. So I'm going to type in here. I'm going to give it a little bit of information. So I could just type my message just like that. But if you're a little more of an advanced user, you could also, if you were going to send this to a group of people, I could say hi, and I'm going to put a return in, and I'm just going to go up here to the top, and I'm going to use my mail merge. So I can say, set this up to have the person's name in it. So hi, name that will come from my profile or from my contacts. At that point, I'm done. Everything is green, so I'm good to go. I'm going to go to add recipients. And at this point, I could add people from my address book. I could click on address book, and I could add individuals, or I could add a group if I chose to. So for right now, I'm just going to add one individual, and I'm going to say add selected. And if I wanted to send that out, I could click send now. If I wanted to schedule it for later, maybe I'm going out of town and I want to make sure this piece of content is delivered first thing in the morning on Monday, I could simply say send it on the 6th at 9 a.m. and I could schedule that piece of content to go out. So very easy for them for you to send that out, and then I am finished with sending that video out. But I also have some more options here. I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to go back to the video itself. If I were to post this on Facebook, this posts a little bit different than when we posted our YouTube video. So I'm going to click on Facebook. And because this is a link, once again, it posts different than if we're posting just a social image. It has my message, has that on here. So I'm simply going to say post to Facebook. And it's going to once again bring up that Facebook interface page that needs to be dealt with. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say share on a page I manage, and I'm going to leave it the media center, and I'm not going to change anything else. I'm simply going to say post to Facebook. Here's one of the great parts about videos that are posted directly out of the Wine is Social. If I refresh my page, you'll see that I now have that video on the page here. Looks very much like a social post, but if I click on it, you'll see that this is a video, and it opens up and plays on a page that is automatically personalized from me. So right here you'll see automatically has my name, my contact information, and the company logo. The cool part about this is that no matter how many times this page gets shared or forwarded, so say I email it to somebody, they really like the email, they forward it to somebody else who forwards it to somebody else. Whenever that person clicks on it, it is going to show your profile information and your contact information. So I'm going to close out of that. And that is primarily the way you manage content on Wine is Social. Like I said, it's a very simple process to navigate through. Once you learn how to use one piece of content, you really can manage any piece of content that you choose to. Now that we've kind of seen that, I want to jump back to the home page again. I'm simply going to click on my logo in the upper left-hand corner, and that's going to take me back to my home page. And now we'll look at some of the components of the home page very quickly. The first one thing you'll notice is at the very top is a search bar. So if you do want to search the library directly from here, you can make a choice of whether you want to search the master library or my library. You'll also make a choice of whether you want to look for an e-card or a newsletter, and then you can just type something in to this field. These large icons down here are shortcuts to content that's in the library. So I may click on VinNote, and that's going to take me out and see whatever the monthly newsletter is, because that's what VinNote is. Or I can also go to Tastings content, and it's going to search for content in the library related to tastings. So a very easy, short way to get to the content that you might be looking for. You'll also notice down at the bottom here, there's the What's New. So the most recent pieces of content that have been placed in the library, you can easily access those directly from here. And down at the bottom, this area is actually going to be blank when you first get started. But as you add new pieces of content, you'll see that it just stacks up here for you. So we saved 15 pieces of content or 15 pieces of content that you can access directly simply by clicking on that name on the left, and it will take me right back into my piece, that piece of content. The other thing to note is if I go back to the library again, we're going to scroll up and go search, is that all those pieces of content that are listed at the bottom can also be found in my library. So you notice that when we were working and I was demoing these pieces of content, I called them Copy for Kevin or This is my new copy, and I can easily access that piece of content right here, and I can use it again if I don't want to make any changes to it. I can use it directly again from going to the My Library and using the sharing options. I'm going to go back home here. We're going to cover the newsletter now. The newsletter is automatically sent out as it always has been for you. But if I go to My Library, click on My Library, and I'm going to go type e-newsletter. This is where you're going to see the copy of the newsletter that is sent out for you. I have quite a few in here from the demonstration, but you'll just have one per month. I'm actually going to click on that newsletter, and you'll see it pulls up the details page just like we've worked on in the past, and you'll see that it has an activity button right here. If I click on activity, I now can view all of the interactions that people are having with my copy of the newsletter. So I can see these are all emails, so if I've got all of my email charting, all of that's on here for me. I can scroll down and I can see what channel. This is actually one that was shared through Facebook. So I can see the sharing and what has happened through Facebook. Let me grab one that's actually has email from it. I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to go to my activity. And now this is one that has been shared through email, as all of yours will be. I can tell this one has just had one instance. This will show it over time. But I can scroll down and I can see here's the person that it was sent to. Here's how many times they viewed it. If you have opt-outs or people that it bounced from, all of that will be reported right here for you. So it's a great tool that you can use to kind of monitor what's happening with your newsletter. I'm going to go back to the home page again, and now I'm going to go into contacts and just cover them really quickly. When you first come in, like I said, all of your contacts will automatically be imported into the contact manager. You have an option to add your own contacts or add your own groups. One thing to note, contacts that are added in this contact manager are not sent back over to your back office in the wineshop.com site. So you will be able to add contacts. They will just be for you to work with in the Wine is Social platform itself. You can also add a group. So if I wanted to add a group, I would just say, this is my new contacts, and I'm going to say add. And then I can easily edit my contacts simply by clicking on one, and you'll see an edit button down at the bottom, and I can add it to a group. Click on it. This is my new contacts. That group is there, and I simply say save. So very easy to navigate and locate what you need from this. You'll see that all my contacts are on the list down the side. So if I just go to that contact or that group, it's going to show the contact that's in that group. If I want to add a group, I can do it up here. If I want to add a content, I can do it up here. So very straightforward and simple for you to navigate, get to your contacts that are brought over to the platform, as well as edit some new ones. But always keep in mind, anything that you add on this side of the platform does not go back over to your back office contacts. You will need to go back there to manage those contacts. I'm going to go back to my home page. And that's Wine is Social. A quick recap for you. Manage your content from the library. Search. You can filter down the side. You can select My Library or the Master. Select your contact. Click Get Started in the upper left-hand corner, and you are off and running. And if you ever lose your place, simply click on the Help file, and you can find all that you need to navigate the site, find the content that you need to best grow your business.